In a Gallup poll conducted in May of 2017, Americans were asked to rate our moral values. 81% said only fair or poor. 77% say that U.S. moral values are getting worse. We know of Daniel in the Bible. The Babylonians wanted to change his name so he'd be like them. But we know him as Daniel, not Belteshazzar. Hananiah, Mishael, and Azazarah were Daniel's Jewish friends. But we know them as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Daniel remained distinct from a pagan culture. His friends blended in. We raise our young people in our churches, but then we send them out into the world which seeks to absorb them and rob them of their distinctiveness, just as the Babylonians did to the Jews centuries ago. And how did the prophets of Old Testament times stand for God in a pagan world? How did God's people keep their faith as they were taken into captivity amidst an immoral culture, where infant sacrifice and temple prostitution were common pagan religious practices? First, Daniel always sought the Lord in prayer. Second, he would hold to the word of the Lord, such as in Jeremiah's teachings in Jeremiah 24, 5-6, which read, "Thus says the Lord God of Israel, like these good figs, so I will regard as good the captives of Judah, whom I have sent out of this place into the land of the Chaldeans. I will set my eyes on them for good, and I will bring them again to this land." One of the things that we can do is to use movies like God's Not Dead 2, in which the main character, Grace Wesley, maintained a perspective to stand with God rather than the fickle desires of men. Daniel warned against trusting in the plans of men, stating, "The Most High God is ruler over the realm of mankind, that he sets it over whomever he wishes." Daniel chastised Belshazzar, the king of Babylon, the son of Nebuchadnezzar, saying, "You have not humbled your heart, even though you knew all this, but you have exalted yourself against the Lord of heaven." In a day and age when the culture rejects moral truth and the concept that God calls us to live in right relationship with others, in a day when it seems as though the culture seeks to destroy the concept of personal responsibility, we need people who will take a stand as Daniel and Esther did, to honor God's laws and apply Jesus' words from Luke 12-48, which read, "From everyone who has been given much, much will be required, and to whom they entrusted much, of him they will ask all the more." In discovering Raising Daniels and Esthers at the movies, we'll explore the importance of providing sound moral leadership in the governance of our nation, just as the character Benjamin Gates, played by Nicolas Cage, does in the movie National Treasure. This is just a sampling of the 11 movies that I've selected from my free newsletter, Conversations with the Culture. Movies like The Hunger Games, Star Trek, The Undiscovered Country, God's Not Dead, The Avengers, Endgame, National Treasure, Thor, and others. We'll use these and other movies to help us wrestle with such topics as government abuse, the traditional family, abortion, raising children, and other social issues. The material is well suited for conversations about these and other topics with student and young adult study groups. To order my new ebook, Discovering Raising Daniels and Esthers at the Movies, just go to the website below. That's www.wisejargon.com/atthemovies/discovering raising Daniels and Esthers. To kick the tires and preview the ebook, go to the website and download the issue using the movie National Treasure. You can simply click on National Treasure and then download and preview the sample chapter that I've provided. To order my free newsletter, Conversations with the Culture, just go to my website at wisejargon.com/atthemovies. You can learn about my other ebooks in the series on that same page. The first one in the series, Discovering Godly Leadership at the Movies, is free.